told you that you'll keep seeing my face again and again. If you feel you'll be tired of me, you better go sit in the dark at the back so that I won't see you. But I'm sure you won't be tired of my face. We have in attendance Mr. Pompo. He's here on a private assignment, but he's very much welcome in our midst, as well as Mr. Tabo. They are both important personalities in the South African community, but I will keep those other details. We have a group, the Democracy of Sowore, and the chairman of that group is here in our midst, Mr. C. Can you indicate by way of time? You're welcome. As well in our midst, we have Dr. Reverend Anagu, Apostle Dr. Reverend Anagu of the Jesus the Bread of Life Ministry. You're welcome, sir. Also in attendance is Prophet Uche Amefula of the Voice of Glory International Ministry. You're welcome, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Fashino. I don't know why you guys were not even following the wonderful music rendition by OT. I think the message is very clear. Go get your PVC and let's take what back? Let's take it back. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I can still see you guys. Can you say hello to me as well? All right, can we do the high five of the head? All right, they know me. I'm a very good friend of theirs. Okay, can we all be on our feet?
DJ, please cue a song.
Can we all be on our feet? Right about now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
DJ! Because I think I'm almost like a backup artist already. I was already singing with the OT guy. I think I should try a career in music. Anyway, not today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome 2019 Nigerian presidential aspirant, Comrade Omoyele Sowore. Everybody, let's put your hands together one at a time. DJ, I can't hear you guys. A round of applause, please. Don't stop. Do not stop. This is the reason why we're here. Comrade Omoyele Sowore.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can have your seat now. You know, even the Bible says that we must give honor to whom honor is due. And I think the time that we have been talking about, the time whereby Nigeria must have the real change, the time is now. Too many times we have had presidents who are older than the country. And when a president is older than the country, there's no way you will have the feeling of that country. And so, this is the time for us to take it back. Do you know, in Nigeria we have people who didn't go to school, but they have books. In Nigeria we have many funny books in Nigeria. When you go to Nigeria, you see books like How to Look Beautiful, written by Adam Oshomole. How is that possible? The Value of Family Planning, written by who? Two-Face Ijebia. How to Write and Speak Good English, written by who? Dr. Mrs. Patient Jonathan. We really miss that woman. Because she helped in increasing the lifespan of Nigerians. I remember when Ojukwu died, so they asked her, what do you have to say about Colonel Ojukwu? She said, oh, Ojukwu was a great man. Even though he is dead, but manhood lives forever. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, I'm going to introduce Mabel to call on the next item on the list. Thank you.
Great Nigerians! Great Nigerians! Before I call on someone, let me just do a quick summary or history of Mr. Sowore. In the 90s, after school, he was among those youths fighting against Abacha for MKO Abiola. And they went through a lot. You will remember Comrade Akoni Iromini, Edomi Felix, they were all together. They went through a lot. Comrade Akoni Iromini had a printing shop. He was arrested so many times. And they struggled. But after they struggled, we as Nigerians, we tell our children, go under the bed, don't go outside. Because of what? We are scared. Abacha died. We were excited. God has killed Abacha. Abacha is dead. But what has happened till this date? What development has Nigeria been able to achieve with all the presidents in charge? And we say we have democracy. So let's think about it. I'm going to call on Charity Eagle Aigeka. She's the Vice President of the Nigerian Association of Students in South Africa. She's doing a master's in law, in constitutional law, public international. Let us welcome Charity Aigeka Eagle.
Great Nigerians. Great Nigerians. You're all welcome. I'm going to introduce the coordinator of this event, someone who made all this possible. She's a designer, she's an industrial psychologist, a businesswoman, and she is Mrs. Ikedri Sholare. Let's put our hands together as we welcome her on stage. Put your hands together.
Greatest Nigerian people. Greatest Nigerian people. Are we happy? I've been expecting this hall to be full. Where are the Nigerians? Are we ready for a change? Are we ready for a revolution? Are we ready for a new Nigeria? Then why are we still at home? It's a Sunday. I expect this hall to be full. Call your friends. Tell them you are here. Call your family members, your brothers, your neighbors. Tell them it's happening here. Those people who are angry, you can't stay angry forever. We need to take a stand. We need to take action. And this is the first step. You need to step out here. Express your grievance. Ask your questions. Share your opinions. Make your contributions. That is the way we can move forward. I am very excited and happy to be part of this great change that is happening in our country, Nigeria. I'm happy to be alive, that is in my own generation, that there's going to be a new change in our country, Nigeria. I am happy that I'm playing my own part. I am contributing my own quota. It's enough to stop complaining by standing on the sideline. Step in. Do your part, I do my part. And we move Nigeria forward. Greatest Nigerian people! Great. Before going further, on the item here is the opening remarks by the National Coordinator of the Take It Back Movement, South African chapter. This movement is such an interesting one. I seriously share and I'm very passionate about the vision. The vision is something that is going to outlive every one of us. It is what will erase the embarrassments that goes along with our green passport. It is a vision that is going to make our children and our children's children to become proud again of our great country, Nigeria. The guest of honor, Comrade Omoyele Sowore, the ever-active entourage and the moving machine, all protocols, the invited guests, and all persons seated, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to have you all seated, and my heart swells with immense joy and pleasure, knowing that we are all seated for a cause and still have passion for our fatherland, Nigeria. To the non-Nigerians attending this meeting, it is good that you have come to show African brotherhood. We want to be proud of an Africa where we can all move freely, operate freely, without fear or mutual suspicion. To many minds, the question may arise, why are we here? I have asked myself the same question again and again in time past and have arrived at a decision. We need to have a nation wherein traveling out of the country is a matter of choice and not that of force. We need a country wherein a child goes to school not blankly but with a future. We need a situation wherein our leaders can talk to us and we will not say, see another set of lies flowing out freely. Nowadays, the gaps between the nation leadership and the citizenry is wider than that breadth of the Amazon forest. People just see the politicians as cash cows and not as responsible officers holding the course of the country. People see our common wealth as politicians' deep pockets. A sample survey of the youth in Nigeria today will show you where we are headed. Many of them cannot even tell you what their tomorrow looks like in practical terms. Ask them, why are you in school? And the best answer is, because my parents sent me. We need a nation full of hope. Something significant happened in Nigeria in 2015, which most of us took lightly. Nigerians showed the courage that they can change the national and state governments that were full of ineptitude and lackluster performances. It was unheard of in the history of Nigeria. Do you know who birthed the change? The youths. The likes of you and I, spearheaded by the likes of Sowore and other social media gurus, online publications, unassuming campaign, dedicated and sustained opinions on Facebook and Twitter. We dared intimidations and insults and stood for what is right. The end result, we kicked out the PDP and installed the APC government. Nigerians then have hopes, expected a halt in the drift to nothingness, wanted to see a country of hope, and looked forward to a renewed Nigeria where we can all thrive. What happened? The executive tribe, the legislators tribe, the judiciary tribe, and the citizen still are under the heavy burden of no hope. With a GDP growth rate of minus 13.4%, unemployment rate of 18.8%, inflation rate of 11.23%, and a negative balance of trade running into several billions of dollars, we really are not doing well. A visit to Nigeria and a walk on the streets in cities will reveal how bad we are doing to you. Things are really bad. But Nigerians are a hopeful people. Really, we have a reason to be. With an average annual GDP of 376 billion US dollars, we have no reason to complain. That is almost 10 times the GDP of Tanzania, which stands at 47.43 billion US dollars. More than 5 times of that of Kenya, which stands at 70.53 US dollars. 15 times of that of Uganda, and almost 6% of the total GDP of Africa. We have our fair share of Africa's wealth. But the question remains, is wealth equitably distributed in Nigeria? I'm sure you know the answer. This is the simple reason why we have to take Nigeria back from the hijackers, the political and economic slave drivers, the usurpers, those who are stealing our country dry and thriving on our blood, the multi-billionaires without any substantial business interests or production values. They are everywhere in the nation and are not divided by ethnicity, color, gender, or party. Do not be deceived. We have recently observed deceptions in defections. But does anything really change? Here we present to you our presidential aspirant, Comrade Omoyele Sowore. He is the one who dares the lion. He can open a bear's jaws and take out the lamb. He has done it before, and he can do it again. I need not campaign for him, as he is here to speak for himself. Pay attention to listen dispassionately and have an open mind. We have a movement here, and we believe that it goes far beyond the 2019 election. Be prepared to go the whole length all the way with us. Once again, I welcome you to this grand event, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please. Just keep clapping. Thank you very much for that very, very precise and very, I'm not particular bias, but very, you know, particular bias, they sent him to House of Reps, and he was confusing all of them with English. The next tenure, he wanted to go again. They said, no, when you were there, the first 4 years, we did not hear anything that you said. So just stay at home. You know, Nigeria is a great country. And Nigerians, we are tough people. Quote me anywhere, a Nigerian man can survive anywhere. Because we are, you know, when I watch the news and I see white people commit suicide for very little thing, it amazes me. A man can just get home, a white man will just get home from work, opens the fridge, and there's no food. Oh my God, will just take knife and kill himself. That's how they are. Very soft. Nigerian man, no food, we will survive. We will survive. We are beat hard. And you know, talking about the news reporting, our presidential aspirant has an online media team, the Sahara reporters. Beautiful. You know, I like Yoruba men, I like Yoruba people. I'm not happy when people say Yorubas are always afraid. A Yoruba man is not afraid. It's just that they are quick to react when something bad is about to happen. Have you ever heard that something happened? 200 Yoruba people died in one place. It's not possible. They move ahead of time. They see. I'm telling you. See, when you watch the news, the white man has no value for death. A typical white man, whatever the man does, he sticks to it. A white man will travel from the US to Kenya. We'll arrive at the capital, then we take a boat from Nairobi to Mombasa. From Mombasa, he will take a truck to what do they call it again? Safari. Then you see the white man will come out from the truck and will say, yes, right now, I'm about to prove to you right now that lions are human friendly. A white man. He will come down from the truck and be walking towards lion just to prove a point. If a Yoruba man goes to safari, he will not come outside from that truck. When he sees a lion coming, he will tell them, please, you have to move this truck because this lion has got the tire of this motor. When white reporters, when they want to report news, they report news live. They're not afraid. Here, right now, behind me, we have Iraq, where the war is going on right now. To my right side, we have the US troop. They are ready to attack. Oh, that building has just collapsed. Oh, there's too much shooting. In the war for life. Nigeria. We also report life, but it's in the other way around. And Nigeria, it has been one thing. For how many years? Hello, this is Rabiu, and we are reporting live from the incident that happened in Maduguri. So right now, I'm going to transfer to my colleague in Maduguri to tell us about the situation. I hand over to Musa. Musa, hello? Musa, can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Musa, can you hear me? No, I can't. Musa, okay, I can hear you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reporting live from Maduguri. This is where the bomb blast took place 7 days ago. Nobody want to die. And if you look at the police force, when you travel out of the country, you see the white men who are in uniform. They are particular about their job. They protect their job. If a white man is going on operation, for instance, he was called that there is a robbery scene. They give everything out for their job, the white police. You see them, let's say this is the fence. This is where the robbers are. The policemen are here. White men, when they get there, and you see a white man is very confident of his gun. This is how they hold their gun, the white people. A Nigerian police is not sure of the gun. So it's like this. Finally, the white men, they get to the fence. They say, okay, right now, we're here. Sergeant Paul, go over. The sergeant will jump the fence and they will shoot the sergeant. Oh, we just lost one man. But we're going to keep fighting. Sergeant Andrew, go. Sergeant will go. They will kill all of them. Nigerian police, as the guys they are shooting. It's okay. Sergeant Musa, go. Musa will just jump the fence. They will shoot him. They don't kill him. Hey, who will go now? Who will go? Sergeant Ibrahim, over. Say, Oga. My wife now. Nigeria will be better. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right about now, I'm going to welcome back to the pulpit the coordinator of this great event. Please help me put your hands together for her once again as she comes to the pulpit to introduce.
Thank you so much, MC Richmond. You know, sometimes when people crack jokes like this, my stomach starts rumbling. I don't even know if I should eat or I should not eat. Quite a number of dignitaries I have missed. Without wasting much time, I would like to call on Reverend Dr. Harold Anagwe and his wife, Mrs. Margaret, to please join us on stage. Also, Honorable Francis Solomon Ekohi Manikongo is aspiring to the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A round of applause for him as well. We also have an artist of the greatest Nigeria student. I can't hear you guys. Of the greatest Nigeria student. I think the students are sleeping. I don't know anyway. I'm not sleeping. Ever militant Nigeria student. Ever Koboshi Nigeria student. Something is wrong. I don't know. Greatest Coco. Greatest Baba. Now hear your voice and you get fast. You know? I really like voice and I understand. Greatest Shiwa. Greatest Toto. The reason why I did all that is because we have former president, National Association of Nigerian Students in South Africa, Barrister Smart Ori, my very good guy. Please welcome on stage. Now I get plenty cases. Case plenty. Now you already Andrew. You lie. Mr. Franklin, if you're around, please get ready. I'll be calling you on stage very soon. MC?
Yes, you know, when he was hailing Nigerian students, you know, sometimes there was a particular event I thought because I was addressing young people, so I felt they were students. And I said, greatest Nigerian students! They just holler, power to the people. I said, these are not students. All right, please can we welcome Mr. Franklin to the mic. Please put your hands together for him as he comes.
Mr. Franklin, are you here?
Please just keep clapping till he comes.
Franklin. Also, we'd like to welcome on stage very important person, Mrs. Wall. Mr. and Mrs. Oli, if you're here, quickly, please, join us on stage and keep clapping for them. So, Franklin, a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it for them. Mr. and Mrs. Oli, welcome on stage, please.
Our presidential aspirant was one time a student union leader. And for you to be a student union leader, it shows a lot. You must have that audacity. You must be able to, you must be very confrontational. If you are a very quiet student, you don't like to talk, there's no way you can be in such position. I remember many years ago, my dad was a very strict man. I graduated from the University of Benin in 2013. I remember around 2010, there was a protest, serious protest in school, and they were burning cars, destroying the buildings, and it was on news. Then my father called me and said, Daniel, how are you? He said, I'm fine. He said, where are you? I said, sir, I'm in the library, I'm reading. He said, very fine. Just focus on your book, ensure that nothing distracts you. I said, yes, sir. 5 minutes time, my father called me again and said, I watched on the news that students in your university, they are protesting. Why are they protesting? I said, sir, they increased school fees from 10,000 to 80,000. My father said, what? Where did you say you are again? I said, sir, I'm in the library. So you better go and join them. Go and join them and protest this time. Who will pay? Go and join them. That's how I joined them. I became a radical student back then in university. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Franklin, please, over to you now. Thank you.
Great Nigerian. Great. I don't know what this is. Great Nigerian. Great. Don't contesting for the Federal House of Representatives in Imo State. The reason why I came in this morning, 3 a.m., just because of this, I was supposed to still be in Nigeria. I was there from the beginning when this program started. We tried everything to ensure that you attend the Mandela Day program when Barack was here. But the notice we got, the tickets were all sold out. So we couldn't do anything. We tried everything we could, even the golf. It never worked because everywhere was so good. And I was running against the time. After the 18th, I had to travel the next day to Nigeria. And the reason why I came back and I said, no, for whatever reason, I'm still going to go back, but I need to be here when you will be coming to South Africa. The fight we are fighting is not ordinary. The reason why we're here, this journey, it will be very wrong of us to underestimate the people we are contending with. These people are not joking. So when you are here, you should be angry in your spirit. This is not party. This is not where we come to enjoy or laugh or joke. This is a serious business. It is an extremely, very serious business. These people have made up their mind that they are not going to vacate that office. That is what I witnessed. So if you're here and you think it's just for us to just come and support Mr. Sowore, you're misleading yourself. These people are determined. They are experts in the game. They've perfected their craft. They have people on the ground. It's not enough to make noise on Facebook, complain all you want. It's not enough to be angry and send all messages. They know you are a master of sending messages. When you hear Nigerian news, you forward to all your friends. That's not what they know those things. They don't care about it. It is time we sit up and say enough is enough. And that's why I came. For me, I thought I was too young to run. It wasn't in my plan. I never anticipated that at this stage I would be going to fight with these people. But there comes a time in a man's life, and I believe that's the same spirit that led you, that you said, no, I'm going to get involved, whatever it takes. And that's why I went. I left everything I was doing here, and I went home. Thinking that it was going to be so easy. Their eyes, their mouth were open. They are looking to some certain category of Nigerians. It's a business for them. Election time. They've mapped out strategies. Some want to buy land from people that are coming. Some want to build houses. They have projects that they are anticipating that this election, by the time they finish this election, they will be able to finish those projects. And that is the mindset of our people. And that is the reality. So when we are coming here and saying that enough is enough, you should have your reasons. You must know why you're here in the first place. Are you here to jump the wagon? Are you here to be entertained? Are you here to just say, oh, okay, I'm just getting involved? If you have it wrong, the same thing that is happening will continue to happen. So I'm taking this opportunity to capitalize on those of us that are here. How do I come in? What can I do? I was even told that even though you said these people will vote for you, this card reader, don't you know that it's someone that programmed it? And they're not joking. So while you're trying to make attempt on what you need to do, you must also investigate that these people are determined to get what they want. So what is your role in all this? Is to support this young man. The journey is just beginning. He knows. He came from Nigeria. He knows that this is not This is not for our side. They say this is not my. What are you going to do to your family? What influence do you have? What orientation are you going to tell them? That, you know, if your mom in the village is trying to canvass you, she might find it difficult. Because she believes that you have traveled out, you have seen things differently. But if you, as a child, will call your mom and say, no, mom, there's this person that we hear about. Why don't you just gather people and surround them? I think she will be able to say, no, my son has spoken. That is the role that you need to play. You may not all travel and go to Nigeria for PVC. But the part you need to play is to be identified and actively. Not only in South Africa. Making noise in South Africa will not change anything. What effort are you making to carry everybody along? Get your family. I tell my family tells another family tells another family and say, look, we need to change this orientation. And if part of our families are the ones that sell votes for 4,000 naira, you need to re-educate them. Someone standing, you saw what happened in Ekiti State. I was in Nigeria. Someone stand by the polling booth, you give him 4,000, they're watching when APC is up, PDP is down. So they're watching there with the 4,000. When they give you the money, they're watching. If you thumbprint the upside, then it means it's APC. And some people are already collecting the money just to vote. And these people didn't fall from heaven. They are the Nigerians we are here fighting all about. They are families, they are our friends, they are our relatives, they are church members. That is where we will start. That is the role that we need to play. And if we get that right, then other people will come. Because you can't give what you don't have. I'm not here, I can't leave my program there and come back and it's for it to be a joke because I want to attend the program. If it's not meant to be, I will not be here. I believe in your cause. And no one will do it for us except us. Let us not underestimate the people we are dealing with. These people are real. They are masters. Some they don't even want to, some of them are engineers, they don't even associate engineering in their, what do you do for a living? I'm a politician. So it means that engineering does not pay my bill, politics does. So why would I associate myself as a politician? Let me associate myself as an engineer. Instead, let me associate myself as a politician because that's what pays the bill. It is only in Nigeria that such a thing happens. It is only in Nigeria. It is only in Nigeria. It's not about the tribe. It's not about the religion. If we can get this right, I think it's going to be a step in the right direction. And it begins with all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Franklin. So many things you said, so many chords were struck. Please, we're having a musical interlude quickly. I would just like to tell all the artists that will be coming on board to please try as much as possible to spend time wisely. 3 minutes at most, I've just been told. There is a South African idea belonging to Mr. Karim Tokorazak. Please see me afterwards backstage. Quickly, Jay Prince. Welcome, Jay Prince. Jay Prince, are you ready for us, please? Quickly. There's no time. While we're waiting for Jay Prince, I think we can pick so many things from what Mr. Franklin just said. The most important message is this is the right time. And as you all know, we're not too young to rule. Not at all. And we're taking it back. Jay Prince, if you're ready, DJ. All right, Jay Prince, we're waiting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, part of the reason why we're here is to try as much as possible to reconscientize, most especially people back home. We still don't have diaspora voting from all indication, but it's very, very possible for us to try as much as possible not to tell our folks back home not to sell their future. 4,000 naira, think about it. Jay Prince, we're waiting for you. All right. Okay, DJ, welcome on stage. Everyone, a round of applause for Jay Prince. I wish I looked so much like him, right? Can I back you up, sir, while you're doing your thing? All right.
Yeah,
I'm here to support. All right, did you wait?
Yeah.
I'm here to support Sowore. He's a youth like me. That's why I'm here. You know, we need a better Nigeria. If Nigeria is good, we won't be here, you know. So, DJ.
Timid people, yeah.
See them courage. Malo, only Malola, Malo, only Malola. Look at you want me to go down, you want me to fall down. Look at me, that's my prayer. Look at me, that's my prayer. Read my worship, Morara. Read me my Malo, Holy Malola, Malo, Holy Malola, look at See, everything you go through now, just a story now. Whatever you pass through, just prove it. I hustle and pray day and night, just to see the better days. And my sweat is not to morning now, and you want to start my shadow. Who you be? If I am, who you be now? If I am, Malo, Holy Malola, Malo, Holy Malola, Thank God, Baba ti ṣe o. Thank God, Olúwa ti ṣe o. Anywhere, people don't like my song. Anything else, people don't like my song. And they turn up. Give your glory to the Lord Most High, and I give your glory now to the Lord Most High. Malo, Holy Malola, Malo. Holy Malola, look at So, I love you, man, I love you. Thank you so much. A round of applause, please, for Jay Prince. Following him, we have Fuck Your Large. A round of applause. Fuck Your Large. Are you ready for it? Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When I say take it back, you say Sowore. Take it back. Sowore. Take it back. Sowore. Take it back. Sowore. This is the time you have to stand up and fight for our rights. Drop it, DJ. Yeah, yeah. Oh, na, na. See. Everything I'm like, we go to shine on. Don't worry, lazy man. Don't worry, lazy man. Don't worry, lazy man. I see you letting go lie on me. Hey, oh no, shining every day, shining every night, shining every night, shining every summer. We gonna never go, we gonna never slow. We don't have money, how many nights and
Thank you so much. Fuck your lives. I can see that youthfulness, that vibration. Fuck yeah. I think I know what that means, right? Fuck yeah. The guy is fuck yeah really anyway. Madam Doris, I'll be needing your assistance once again. I think this is the time we've all been waiting for, but I don't think I'm capable of doing this. Let's welcome once again on stage the moderator, the coordinator for today, Madam Doris.
Thank you, my people. I'm always delighted to stand before you. I feel very humble, and I appreciate you for taking your time to be here. Without wasting any further time, I want to introduce to you someone who motivates me, who has got agility, someone who, you know, his strength amazes me. He's always on the move. You always have to run to catch up with him. He is a pro-democracy campaigner, an activist, the founder of Sahara Reporters. He is originally from Ondo State of Nigeria. He is a graduate of the University of Lagos, studied geography and planning, and he was a student union president during 1992 to 94 session. He has a master's degree in public administration from the Columbia University. I want to welcome Comrade Omoyele Sowore.
Keep it up! Where you rewo? Sowore, where you rewo? Bo lomo ogu, where you rewo? Let's keep standing, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please have your seat, Nigerians. Greatest Nigerian people. Great! Whoa! Greatest of the greatest Nigerian people. Great! Indefatigable Nigerian people.
Indefatigable.
Untiring Nigerian people. Unsuppressible Nigerian people. I am very delighted to be here in South Africa today. And before I start, I have to thank the organizers of this event. Doris has been an amazing organizer for us in South Africa. She's spent several nights and days just making sure that all of the power sectors in this South Africa regarding our political ambition are activated and working interrelatedly, interdependently, also sometimes independently, to make sure that we take our country, Nigeria, back from the political hyenas, from the buccaneers, and those who have hijacked the destiny of a great nation and held it to ransom. I want to also thank her husband, Shola, who is in our midst. They both decided that this is the only thing they will do until I get here. Even when we had difficulties getting here, they made sure that we got here. I also want to thank our pastor here who opened his church to us today to speak about the future of Nigeria. I want to thank those of you who have come from all over South Africa. I heard people came all the way from Cape Town, Durban, to be here with us tonight because this is so important to all of you. that Nigeria must be a different country in 2019. And as I've always told you, I have no apologies about my position on Nigeria. I also have no respect for the leaders of Nigeria as they are currently imposed or composed on us. I have also never missed words about where Nigeria needs to be, and that is that even though we are looking towards winning the election next year, it has to be the beginning of a series of things that need to happen on that, in that country and on the continent of Africa. So, as most have told you, and those of you who are here from the University of Lagos, I see some very interesting faces in the audience. We have come a long way. From 29 years ago was the first time I stepped into the University of Lagos as a freshman. And we were confronted with two options in those days. It was either to be the unilag student that everybody wants you to be, what we used to call a co for show. That is, you wear nice clothes, and some of them can afford cars, or to take a different direction, which was unpopular at that time, fight the military, and I decided to go for the other option. I remember one night we were seated in front of the hostel, and we were told that Shina Peters was coming to perform on campus, and that if you went to that show, you will be lucky. You know what lucky means at the university in those days. I couldn't afford it, so I never went. And another person who is in South Africa tonight, but we got to find about him very late, Femi Falana, was also coming to campus to speak on campus about the World Bank loan that the Nigerian government was going to collect at that time. So I opted to go to Femi Falana's event, and I never regretted it today, because if I had gone the other route, as you can imagine what would be happening to me today. But I went the route that wasn't popular. So from the University of Lagos, we took on the mantle of being very few activists on campus, because it wasn't popular, like I said, at the University of Lagos to be an activist. It was more popular to be a socially conscious person in terms of how many parties you attended. But by the time we left the University of Lagos had changed from a co for show to a co for struggle. And it became the bastion of the opposition against military rule, to the extent that I was expelled twice from the University of Lagos. As I joke about it, when they took my expulsion letter to the Senate the second time, the University Senate, one professor asked them, well, we expelled this guy before. Why are we doing it a second time? But he said he managed to come back, so let's do it one more time for the final time. I was also physically abducted on campus at the point I was injected, and the story is known to a lot of people who graduated from the University of Lagos. I almost died. In fact, most people thought I had died, because we had several challenges when we were on campus. There was military rule, and the children of the military and the political class also constituted themselves into another group of gangsters on campus. So as we were fighting their father outside, we had to fight their children on the inside. This is a true story. But the sad part is that 29 years after, the struggle has not yielded much. I have fought on different fronts, including forcing myself to switch over from the career of being a geographer to being a journalist. And I've fought for a lot of people, I've fought against a lot of people. I have been tagged a public enemy. My name is at the Nigerian airport. Anytime I'm traveling, I'm flagged. I've been targeted, I've been detained, spent time in several prisons or police stations in Lagos and other places around the country. Until today, the system has not forgiven me, and I'm sure it has not forgiven you too. And the reason is because we are the ones who should be pursuing the system, but we are running away from the system. thinking that if we run away, the system will leave us alone. But as you know now, in South Africa, where you are, if you are in the UK today, if you are in America tomorrow, everywhere you go, Nigeria will follow you. No matter how long it takes, even when you change your nationality to another person's nationality, that Nigerian DNA will be ingrained in your passport. So they are very quick to ask you to step aside, even if you no longer carry a Nigerian passport. Because our leaders have destroyed our foundation. And they have no intention of leaving us alone. So you can imagine someone who was the president of Nigeria when most of you were not born in 1983 is going to be the president of Nigeria again in 2019. And he has no intention of saying, look, the country has been nice to me enough. A country that elected you with a NEPA certificate or NEPA bill is a nice country. You can be nice to the country by doing what Nelson Mandela did in South Africa when he was too old to govern South Africa. He paved the way for other people to take over the mantle of leadership. But in Nigeria, they don't do that. And our people too are wicked to us or towards us. You know, there are things I can live with and there are things I cannot live with. I can live with mistakes that are made one time. But when a mistake is about to be repeated as a tragedy, I cannot think of forgiving people who want to make the mistake. That people are gathering at this time to say that the incompetence wrought on Nigeria for the last 3 years, going to 4 now, is what must be repeated. We must be really wicked towards ourselves. That somebody is thinking that the best way to take Nigeria to the next level is to continue this analog leadership in the land. That the best way Nigeria can move to the next level is for herdsmen to have free rein to kill whenever they want. That the best way to continue with Nigeria is for Nigeria to continue to unemploy and unemploy its youth. That the best way to continue with Nigeria is for its roads, in which condition they are today, should continue to be the way they are. That the best way for Nigeria to continue is in darkness, which is the situation with our electricity. And that the best way to continue with Nigeria is to keep rewarding the same people who have been failing Nigeria over the years with social and political promotion. We must be very wicked towards ourselves. Because as our brother who just came from Nigeria said, bulk of the problem too has to do with followership, not only leadership. And as we are embarking on this journey, we must tell ourselves some very, very hard truths about what we have done to ourselves and against ourselves. This is when I came here 3 days ago. You guys probably heard I went on ETV here in South Africa, and within 5 minutes of speaking passionately about how I feel about Nigeria, they had shut down the show. Yes. And what I told them was very simple, that regardless of how you look at Nigeria, Nigeria is South Africa's big brother. They don't like to hear it. But I'm not the only person who feels that way. Even Nelson Mandela, when he was alive, agonized about Nigeria's inability to get his act together. Because that's the truth. But you know, it's not enough to just say, well, we are big brother to South Africa. The truth is that we are big brother to the entire African continent. You know how I describe Nigeria? If you look at the map of Africa, it's like a pistol facing the ground. And Nigeria is the trigger. Right? So if you don't pull that trigger, you can't shoot anything. Yes, you go and check the map of Africa. And if you look at the Horn of Africa with the Suez Canal, that's the other side of it. So Nigeria is a trigger. It didn't happen by accident. You know, I'm a geography major, right? So, but that trigger has not been able to trigger anything. So the big brother that we are is just one big bear, you know, that is of no use, to be honest with you. It's that kind of a big brother you have that doesn't have a job, doesn't have a house, don't send their children to school, Right? So it's very difficult for South Africa to respect the expression. But at the same time, I needed to send the message to them because since we are changing Nigeria next year, they need to get the memo in advance that the big brother is coming on. You're right. Because even South Africans and the rest of Africa know the reason why Nigeria is not performing its big brother role. You know, it's not to say that we are not performing. There's a difference between being a generous big brother, giving what you don't have, and acting in that capacity legitimately. So we want to serve the notice to the world that, you know, we are ready now to take our destiny into our hands. And we are going to do it by voting out the people who have made it impossible for Nigeria to realize its potential. Amen. That's the message I was trying to send to them. Because of that, the South African Broadcasting Corporation cancelled an interview that I was supposed to have with them a few hours later. Also, the Metro Radio FM, whatever they said is a big deal here, also cancelled. They all work together. But it doesn't matter now, it's too late. Nigeria is coming back to life. Nigeria is roaring back to life. And I said it also yesterday somewhere that somebody asked me a question, said, you know, we need to all bond together as rats to go and build the cats. And you know how that story about rats meeting, and they said, let's go and build the cats. And they start asking us, who will go and build the cats? I said, I reject that. Nigerians are not rats. And these political leaders are not cats. But at the same time, they're like lions who are stealing our offsprings. So I gave an example of the Battle of Kruger Park in South Africa, somewhere here, where lions, a few of them always go in and steal the offsprings of buffaloes. And one day the buffaloes, after running away, after a while, they turned around and they came after the lions. You must have seen the videos. And that's what we need to do in Nigeria, to save our future, to protect ourselves, to guarantee ourselves a homeland that we can all go to. Please don't let me lie to you and don't deceive yourself. I've traveled out of Nigeria or traveled constantly out of Nigeria for 19 years. There is nowhere like home. You know, I want to deceive you by saying that yes, you can have electricity, life can be good for some time, but after a while, you are just part of the statistics of immigrants. And the question you should ask yourself everywhere you might be doing well today is that if the people in those areas are not doing well, how long can you do well for and they'll be looking at you? You know? And doing well is relative if you are not supposed to be where you should be. So I guarantee you in this crowd, a lot of you want a country you can go back to. Most of you, as a matter of fact, will only love to go to South Africa on holidays, or America on holidays, or the UK on holidays, or Europe on holidays. And we have enough resources on the continent of Africa, particularly in Nigeria, to make our country great. But some people deliberately sit down every day, or they have sat down over the years and said they are never going to allow you to have that progress that you have been looking for. It's as simple as that. It is not as if there are no budgets for highways that will make you travel from a place like Pretoria to wherever you want to go and you won't hit a single bump on the highway. Nigeria's highway structure right now is so bad that anytime you see a crater, it will look like the map of Nigeria on the highway. And there's no improvement. Our security system is such that if you want to travel home today, you have to be, careful whether it makes sense to go or not because you don't know if you make it back. And it starts to happen to you from the airport. You feel the animosity towards you from customs, immigration. They ask you, what did you bring for me? How can I take something from you? And you leave the airport and you're not sure, if you end up with a kidnapper or an armed robber, or when you are not, you end up being shot by the police, something could go wrong. And it should not be like that. And we keep watching them, and we say we want to reward them again with social promotion. Even when you ask the leaders, what is the need for you in Nigeria? Like my brother said, he said, did I send you? Because our kind of politics is commoditized. People will look at you and say, hey, what do you want? At the beginning of the election cycle, you say, you want roads, you want this. Okay. Can I offer you 5,000 to go and build your road? Because that's pretty much what they are saying. And you collect the 5,000. That 5,000 is your school, your road, your healthcare center, and they've given it to you. So you have no right to go back to them after you collected 5,000 to vote to say, come and give me school. Or come and, you have already sold your rights to ask for anything. And they will keep doing this to us for as long as we have not brought about a new level of consciousness and conscientization of our citizenry. And this must happen not only with Nigerians inside of Nigeria, but Nigerians all over the world. The reason I come to talk to you is that you've seen the best, or sometimes the worst, around the world. And when I talk to you, I'm imploring you to talk to people at home, but that's not only the thing you need to do, it's also to talk to yourselves as to why we should do this, because this hall should be filled up. If I was a thief from Nigeria, this hall would be filled up. You find Nigerians with the best clothes. There will be no space if I'm a senator that is collecting and stealing from the Nigerian treasury. If I were to be a minister of enjoyment, or robbery, I would have this hall filled up, total capacity. Everybody would say, Minister, thank you very much for coming.
Tell them.
If I was a governor that has just looted the entire salaries of my workers per month, this hall would be filled up. But look at how many we are today. I mean, this is a decent crowd. Don't get me wrong. But we should all be so agitated at this point that they can see it all over the world that Nigerians are ready for the change that they have been clamoring for. But that is not happening yet. And it means that you are sending a signal to them that you are not ready to change the objective conditions that drove you to South Africa, that drove me to America a few years ago. I've driven a lot of our compatriots. 12 million of us are legitimately and legally outside of the country. That is bigger than a lot of West African countries. And those 12 million are the ones that are holding and helping out to keep Nigeria the way it is. We are the biggest foreign investors into the country, with $50 billion sent through Western Union, help me take it home, and all those kind of means of money transmission that you do at home or transfers. 50 billion is what goes into Nigeria. So you have a stake inside of Nigeria. You should not be afraid to exercise that. Because probably you'll be reading on Facebook, why are you going to South Africa? Are they going to vote? No. Voting is not by the voter's card alone. You can vote with your voice. You can vote even by ensuring that you don't allow people to take your space unnecessarily, to suppress what is legitimate and right. On Facebook, places as simple as Twitter, these bad guys are also occupying all those spaces. Yes. Have you never seen a guy consistently who comes to your Facebook status page to start writing rubbish? They don't give up. And sometimes you think that nobody sent them. They sent them. Because they are there to guard and derail whatever thought process you have that is legitimate, and right about your country. All of that are things you must be conscientious about. So in coming in front of you today, I declared 5 months ago, and I will give you the good news, that since we declared, we have had unbelievable amount of support, both at home and abroad. Regardless of what they tell you, they are watching this as we're speaking on Facebook Live. If I give a policy pronouncement here on Monday, they will steal it. Yes, but they'll tell you that you are inconsequential. Yes. Every road that we mentioned that they are not constructed in Nigeria, they've issued money to go and fix the road, including releasing the rest of the amount of money needed for Lagos-Ibadan highway. Yes. They have done Kano Kaduna since we've been complaining about it. Today, I read that they are going to pay youth corpers 49,000 naira. We propose 50,000. It's just 1 naira, 1,000 naira less. We propose that we are going to pay workers 100,000. They are talking to workers to pay 66,000. But we say, well, good luck to you. We pronounce June 12 as democracy day. They stole it and grabbed everybody they could find in Abiola's house, shipped them to Abuja, and gave them, they start giving national awards to people that they never thought about last 3 years. So that tells you something, right? Yes. And we are doing something right. Yes. And thank you. That tells you what is going to happen and what in Nigeria, what will happen to Nigeria. We are surprised also to find out that even though they say that people don't read the internet and we have never placed an advertisement in the newspaper or television, people across Nigeria know about this movement. We have traveled to 26 states, including places like Kebbi, Sokoto, and everybody is shouting, take it back. You know? When we went to the north, we understood what we were doing. You see, I hope all of you will understand that there's no dichotomy between poverty, wherever it is. What they did to Northerners is a social experimentation of poverty, so that nobody can go near the north. They decided to improvise the northern part of the country. If you think you are poor in the south, just dare to travel a little bit beyond Abuja. You will see what they call real poverty. You know what I call dynamic poverty, poverty that stares you in the face. It's not a laughing matter. But the reason the people who carried out that poverty are people who came from the north themselves. And because they don't want anybody to go near there so that they can be getting that 12 million votes that they get. Because it's easy to confuse people who are poor. Yes. Yes. And when you mix poverty with ignorance, lack of education, you've got the WMD, weapon of mass destruction. You know. So when you see that 500,000 people come to their rally, it's because that experiment is working. Because it's difficult to find 500 people who are mentally sound, who are educated to follow Buhari. I mean, it's not possible. Yes, you have to be mentally deranged, even if you're educated, to be following somebody who did this to Nigeria in the last 3 years. But anywhere that's been destroyed with poverty, you always find people who will follow in mass. But yet, these people in the north followed us. We went to Kano, they followed us, and we asked them, do you know us? They said, of course. Are you not the Take It Back people who have been working to make sure that this country works for all of us? And they started the song that we Sowore instead of Sebaba. You know, they realized that the Babas have banished their future into oblivion. And the only way to retrieve it is to step out, but they are still too far, you know, below what we need. But regardless, the good news is that a lot of people are waking up around the country. And even young people, several young people who stood up before and said they are running, they have also come to the realization that we need to join hands together. And before I came to South Africa, I met with so many of them. And when I met with so many of them, I listened to them. All of them have amazing programs for the country. You know, and I cannot condemn any one of them, but I have to say to you that I told them, I said, look, the kind of leaders we need are not the grammar-speaking ones alone. Yes. It has to be people who are willing to fight these people, because regardless of what we are doing for 2019, what needs to happen is that there has to be a revolution. Radical. I mean, I am not going to mince words about that. That the election is very important, but it has to be a revolutionary election in which we are willing to stand and die for what we believe. Tell them, Sowore. Yes. Tell them, Sowore. That is why we have to put our best foot forward. I cannot go and unite with a young person as a candidate, and then they slap him one time and they say he's handing over to Atiku. I'm serious. I cannot surrender my agenda to a young person who they will just go to his house and say, I just shoot once, and then he said, no, he has left the country. We don't even know his whereabouts anymore. I have been fighting them for a long time, and I've stepped on their toes. I call myself an equal opportunity offender of the high and mighty and the powerful and the rich in Nigeria. And I fought them my entire life, and there's nothing to lose. I should have died at the University of Lagos at the age of 23. That I survived until this time is additional bonus to life. And if whoever is in control of my life can give me to this point, that means there's a purpose for that life. And I must not misuse it. And the trajectory of my life has been to fight for what is right and fight whomever is standing in the way of progress. When we were leaving the University of Lagos, we had a vice chancellor and a registrar. The registrar called me and said, "You will not graduate in my lifetime." Yes. Omotosho is his name. Omotosho, yes. And then the VC also said that. But when we got to a point, the VC ran away from the office 27 days before the end of his tenure. Omotosho himself had to run away from Unilag when Omotola came and they were fighting amongst themselves. And I eventually graduated from the University of Lagos, went ahead and attended another school, an Ivy League school. I'm not using it to brag. The only reason I went to Columbia University is to prove that what they were saying about me at the University of Lagos was false. They used to call me layabout. And that the reason why we were fighting against the military was because we didn't want to go to school. It's not as if I didn't want to go to school, but I didn't want to graduate into the kind of useless society that Babangida was propping up. And if I could spend my energy and time at the University of Lagos to drive Babangida out of power, instead of grabbing a useless degree, why don't I do it? I know my time is up. But before I could graduate from the University of Lagos, I had achieved one aim, which was to drive Babangida out of power. So, before they gave me my certificate at all, Babangida had been forced to step aside. Yes, Abacha came in. Before I got my certificate under Abacha, I went to do NYC. Before I left Nigeria, Abacha had died. And when Abubakar came, we went to the University of Lagos, Nuga 98, to send a signal to them that we don't want them in power. They handed over and I left Nigeria. When I left Nigeria, our democracy also witnessed some kind of shenanigans. Obasanjo, after 8 years, wanted to remain in power perpetually. He wanted to become the first Mugabe of Nigeria. We drove him out of power. Out of anger, he introduced a sick man to be president of Nigeria. These guys are wicked, I'm telling you. He went and looked for the sickest candidate, imposed it on Nigeria, Yar'Adua. We fought Yar'Adua, he died. And then they went and brought another interesting character. That one came to, did Nigeria as he liked. We fought, he left. Then they went and brought another man, this time, an old soldier that's very dumb. And now we are fighting to unseat him, and we will unseat him next year. So, I have a few more minutes to speak. I could have just gone into a manifesto telling you about the great things we can do. Speak on. But there's no doubt about the fact that we can run Nigeria better than these people. I don't know if any one of you seated here has never seen manifestos before. There are acres and acres of manifestos in Nigeria. It doesn't mean anything to them, It's just that you need someone with clarity, not necessarily a young person. Because there are a lot of also very useless young people within the political system. And you saw the one that entered the wilderness the other day and climbed on top of the tree. He's back from the tree now. Those ones are young, but they don't have any impact on your future, right? Yeah. And as we speak today, our president is meeting with another thief from Akwa Ibom. And they say they are fighting corruption. So that's why, for me, it's a heart-to-heart talk, not a manifesto conversation. About how to save, how to take the soul of Nigeria back from these people. The manifesto will be taken care of, even beyond the scope that you can see that is written. There's no question about so many of us, not me alone, we are digitally wired to understand what to do about Nigeria. There is no rocket science, there's no rocket science act in building a road between one point A to B when it has been budgeted for. There's no big deal in building a high school, because you wonder that if Nigerian politicians can import marble to build their private homes, why can't they import it to build high schools in Nigeria or universities in Nigeria? I told you how we fought against the World Bank. At the University of Lagos, when they got that $120 million loan, do you know what they did? They built fences around the decadent hostels. At Henrica Hall, where they built a fence around Henrica Hall. It didn't have mosquito nets, not a single one. They were hiding the decay. So, we can do it. There's no question. I've just come here to invite you, to invite your passion, anger, and whatever you might have back home. I come here to invite your spirits to follow me back home. I come here also to invite your support, physical or financial, back home. I also come here to invite you, if you can register, to also come and spend vacation with us. Even if you don't register, come and join us on the ground. You don't have to have a PVC to campaign for us. Let's all be on the ground. Let's occupy until we win. I'm here. But for those of you who want to see our manifesto, we have it on the website, and they are clean, very well digitally mastered from the University of Lagos. Sorry about that. For those of you who didn't attend the class, it's a joke. Don't get upset. Please, it's on our website, Sowore2019.org, where you will see the explanation in a very simple form what we intend to do in Nigeria. It's called SPICER-HE, that's the acronym. SPICER, S meaning security, power, electricity. Without electricity, we are deceiving ourselves. Please. You all know that. Yes. That's the starting point. If we don't have it, we are not ready yet. So we must visit Nigeria with electricity, with anger. Make sure that everywhere is electrified. I am not talking about the kind of electricity where you get half currents. No. Real electricity. And we have to energize our electrical system with a mix that has to do with the way the world is working. Now, we have solar, renewable. We can use the northern part of Nigeria to generate over 4,500 megawatts of electricity just with solar, and everybody will be enjoying it. We also need to break the grid in the country so that you don't have to pump into the national grid before you get electricity. People can just bond together, have regional electrical companies, generate their own, and distribute right there. Because Nigeria as a central behemoth is standing in the way of development and progress. But it's the leadership that is the biggest problem. I will stop here so that you all can ask legitimate questions. And I have to recognize that more people have come into the hall. And I welcome all of you to our event, Townhall meeting here in South Africa today. And we welcome you to please tell your friends that what we have is a movement, right? It's called Take It Back. And that movement is going to transform into a political party in the next few days, possibly. And with that political platform, we will take power, real power, back that will benefit the people of Nigeria wherever they might find themselves. It will not just be that Nigeria will be properly governed, it will also be that no Nigerian anywhere in the world is maltreated with the government looking the other way. Yes. You have a government that can defend you both at home and abroad. And we are the only ones who can do this for ourselves. Once again, I want to thank you so much for coming and for dedicating your time, your energy, and your resources I'll thank the organizers once again for making it a success here in South Africa. We'll be going back tomorrow, and we guarantee you that as soon as we hit the ground running again. And if necessary, we will be back here again to talk to you until, as I said, we win the election next year. Don't forget, the day of the election has a very interesting meaning in my life. It's exactly on my birthday. It's February 16th.
When they know that, they will change it.
That means they are going to postpone that date.
Exactly. When they know it, they are going to postpone it.
But you should let them know it now. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please be on your feet. Everybody, please be on your feet. So much punches, so much words, so much wisdom, so much things to take back home. I have so many. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I was told it's going to be a town hall meeting, but I just found out this is a heart-to-heart meeting. Like our presidential aspirant, I'm going to show what I just said. Without much time, there's no much time. Please and please, ladies and gentlemen, start preparing your questions. The ones you've written, start the editing and editing and editing them. We're not here to play, guys. We're not here to... I've just been told I have a couple of dignitaries I would like to introduce quickly because they just walked in. Pastor Mrs. Sarah Otun, Pastor Stephen Otun, Pastor Ayo Otun, if you're here, a round of applause for them. I also have my very good senior brother. I've been hearing you echoing everything that my Oga has been saying as well. The Nigerian Voice newspaper, my Oga, Mr. Olani, thank you so much for being here as well. We also have Professor Onyeka Umwebwe, if I get that correctly. I can't see this writing properly. He's a writer, he's a professor, and he's also a research fellow from the Center for International Studies from Ohio State University, Ohio State University in America. We also have Sowore2019. I can see those banners. Sowore2019 for Sowore, that's very nice. We also have Reverend Anagu, Apostle for Jesus. And about now, quickly, we have in our midst, please, ladies and gentlemen, before we start taking the questions, Reverend Paul Akaribo to talk to us quickly, please. Let's welcome him. Just for 3 minutes. Then you can keep writing, and try as much as possible to give us reasonable questions. Thank you as well.
I'm so excited and also very, very grateful. My name is Apostle Paul. I'm a son of the soil, Nigeria, even though I'm a South African citizen. But let me tell you, as our president rightly said, I'm now 48 years old. I run away from Ondo State when they want to kill me because June 12th. This is bullet from Alausa police station here. They arrest me, naked me. I was following President Sowore for a long time, but I mean, there's no chance to be like this. I didn't look for him, he looked for me in South Africa. And I hear this president is. What I'm trying to say is that, have we ever found any Nigerian president looking for his people? Yes or no? No. Thank you. Among of you here, I see ministers under this president, Honorable President Omoyele, under the presidency of Omoyele Sowore, you are going to be a minister